Okay, y'all. So I watched most of Kempire and uh uh hold up, was it We Go podcast? Y'all, I have also interviewed with her. I'm just bad with people's names, and I usually be remembering people from their Instagram names, so it's hard for me to remember their actual names. That happens with me a lot. So, like, my bad or whatever. But she's always, supported me. Another great content creator. So shout out to her. I'm about to pull them up on the thing. I'm not going to play their video because I feel like y'all can just go watch it. Is it Taria? Okay, yes, because I was on her channel before. Very sweet. Um, so yeah, they had a conversation about Carlos. And I feel like I'm glad that I waited until I was on my own to watch it and didn't pull it up last night because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And what I mean by that is when you talk about a documentary, I'm thinking that people are going to like, video, audio, we're going to hear something, but that's not what it was. The other one was actually talking about shit that we may or may not have known about, but everything is still alleged. I want a documentary that comes out that is going to give me information I did not already know. Okay. To me, what they did was created the timeline for y'all. They provided Kempire went through and had all of the interview clips of Winter, of Monique Samuels, the things that So Gucci said. So basically it lined up how for a while now the women on his shows have been complaining about how they've been tricked into things. And it started with So Gucci saying that they lied to me about bringing Selena on the show and it caused all of this hoopla. I want to tell y'all that that is bullshit to me on some level. And it's not because I feel like she's lying about not being protected, because I agree with her. And I know she probably wasn't, because they don't protect you on reality shows. However, you acting as if you are being put in harm's way because Selena came on the show, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. I didn't have to watch that clip a million times in order to see that So Gucci was the one with an attitude and So Gucci was the one that felt like Selena shouldn't have been there, even though Selena had been a part of taping previously. It's just that she was being brought on as a cast member and you felt like this was your show. So that's why I don't even really like them talking about the So Gucci aspect of this shit. Okay. So that part, yeah, I hear you, but bullshit. I'm pushing that one to the side. Candy. That was one of the main things that made me realize Carlos has a pattern of behavior of using people and then discarding them. Also doing slick shit behind their back, saying one thing to their face and then saying another thing to other people. Y'all, that's this business. That's this business. And I'm saying that because I've experienced it from other people. I don't get down like that, but I know that that's how people get down in this business. They make promises that they don't keep. They will use you. They will smile and act like they have your best interests at heart, and they will in some way try to fuck you on the back end. Carlos has a reputation of doing that, reputation of doing that. So we had the Candy situation where you took her story, the escape story. You met with her mom behind her back and got information from her, and then you sold her escape biography to somebody, and she had to find out through the grapevine, not from you, who she already had a working relationship with, because you and her husband had a production company together. Because Todd and Carlos had a production company. They were the ones that did Encore, and I believe they did R&B Divas and Hollywood Divas together as well. And there were always issues being said about how people were being handled. Those were great shows, and they should not have gotten canceled as soon as they did. And I think a lot of the times when they did, it had something to do with production. Okay, so we had that situation. I told y'all about stuff I heard about Elise Neal having issues on the set of Hollywood Divas. That's another thing that they didn't bring up, but we can add to the list of impropriety on his behalf when he's a producer of something. I was watching Queen Sheba and Winter came on there, and Winter was talking about that when a white man and a black woman who were a part of the main production team quit, everything kind of went downhill and it was no longer being handled the way it was when they were a part of it. And that's one of the reasons why, even though I am going to promote black business or support black business when they are deserving of it, I am not supporting you simply because you are black, because there are times when black people are taking advantage of another black person, and a white person or somebody else will be like, well, that's not how that's supposed to go. That's not right. And you'll find out through a white person that you're being fucked over by somebody that was using a black card in order to a mesh into your life and into, you being a part of their business ventures. You thinking that they got your back because y'all black. No, that's not the case. Okay. So we already know they weren't getting paid a lot. I want y'all to remember that Mona Scott Young was somebody that everybody used to Mona bitch. Shout out to Roxanne, because it is well known that most executive producers of these shows handle people fucked up. We've been knowing for years reality TV stars don't get paid a lot of money, and that really they put themselves out there, and if they are not able to capitalize like Candy and make businesses from it, that they're basically going to get raped over the coals. Like, they're going to get raked over the coals. They're going to be putting themselves in a situation where the world is going to have a maybe true or untrue version of who they are. So you're going to have to deal with people hating you and coming at you. And then on top of that, you're going to have to deal with not being paid appropriately and having nobody to really go to, because the production company is the top. Where else are you supposed to go? Especially if the network doesn't give a fuck about you unless it's through the production company, which very much is a way that things happen. Okay. So they talked about how people weren't getting paid. They talked about how, and we've talked about on my channel for years about the way they've ignored what's going on with Melody and Martell, where Martell does all of this abusive, crazy shit, and we don't see it on the show. Okay. There's so much that has happened. I feel like somebody needs to do a comprehensive documentary, like it started here, kind of like RRG does, where we just kind of cover the story of it, and then we can go back in and do commentary. That was the reason why I didn't want to play their video, because their video was commentary involved with them providing old interviews and stuff. But it's all stuff that we've already talked about as it was happening. I have not done a culmination video, but I feel like everybody that's been watching me, that are my members, that's a part of my behind the scenes, because I have stopped putting certain content out to everybody, because I've been saying it for the longest. And people, oh, you think Mel can do no wrong and all of that bullshit that y'all say in every fucking video. No matter how I say I don't like when Mel does something, or no matter how I point out something that's like, now what was you thinking about? No matter what I say, y'all are still going to make it seem like because I see the wrong being done in a specific situation that I am pedestalizing a person. And it is so weird. And I hate that conversation. And it makes me just want to call the person stupid whenever they say shit like that, because you ignore all of the other things I say so that you can circle back around to a copy and paste comment that everybody likes to make when it comes to that. It's annoying as fuck. Okay. People have been being mistreated. This is now a pattern of behavior. It's not just Mel. It's Mel. It's Winter. It's Monique. It's the people on Love and Marriage Detroit, the people on Love and Marriage DC, the people on Bell Collective. On every single show, there is some issue where people are being mistreated or a lie is being put out there. Okay. And we only can go off of what is being shown on the TV show. That's why I think it is so important for, if you're going to do reality TV and something happens and it's not truthful, you need to get your ass up there and say the truth and stop allowing for a false narrative to be promoted on a reality show that is on national television. Get your ass up here on YouTube, get your ass on Instagram and say, that was a lie. That's not how that happened. But for some reason, a lot of y'all don't do that. It always takes some tell-all interview for y'all to tell what the truth was during that time. I wish that y'all would get up there as soon as the fucking episode is over and tell us what happened here, and there. Heavenly attempts to do that, but she never watches the episode. So she'll just go off of her memory instead of going off what she's seen on the show so that she can give us a specific point of, okay, well, this moment, da 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 da. She'll do it sometimes, but I feel like if you actually watch the episode, then it will refresh your memory before you come to us. Okay? Either way, this is a pattern of behavior. This is, yes, a corporate America thing. It's not just Carlos. And I know we want to use Carlos and say that this is his way and, it's surviving Carlos. And yes, it is absolutely surviving Carlos, but I think it goes above him as well. And I think it is something that is just practiced by far in reality TV, because reality TV was something that came out of nowhere. It didn't have the same professionalism that actors have to have unions. They have to buy into unions. Reality TV people were able to just be contestants on TV shows, get a little check, come on there, do their bit and get off. That's how it originated. But once you start creating series shows with the same cast of people and you only paying them a little bit of money, but you can film them for dear God, that is when y'all are completely taking advantage of a system that doesn't have enough parameters put in place to protect the talent. That's the issue. That's a problem. And it's been a problem in reality TV for as long as reality TV has been on. Black Ink Crew, Love and Hip Hop, like all of the shows at one point or another, there has always been this feeling of something is going on behind the scenes that's fucked up, that we're being given a whitewashed Disney version of. That's happened so many times. But I just want y'all to be clear. This is being put on under a microscope because of how often Carlos was doing it in a niche environment. You're doing it with Black women in this Black community. And after a while, people are going to start to put the pieces together that you're mistreating people. And I keep telling y'all that it's because men like Carlos are working out whatever their issues are with women through their art. If they don't really like women because they hate their mama for whatever reason. Oh, I loved her, but I hated that bitch. They're sisters. Oh, I love them, but I hated them. Whatever the situation is, you can see that he's working out whatever his issues are with women through his shows. That's why the women aren't being protected. That's why Winter is getting cursed out and violently, harassed on the set of his show as he sits there smiling. That's why Destiny was able to get up there and put all of them lies out there only for him to let her get it all out and then come up behind her and say, well, let's be clear. It wasn't really like this. It was like that. But now the fucking damage has already been done, because now we're having conversations about whether somebody should be sucking their husband's dick or not, instead of talking about the fact that has nothing to do with Destiny being groomed or somebody trying to convince her to have a threesome that she obviously already wanted to have. If you ask me, Destiny always wanted to fuck Mel and Martell, and is basically projecting that that's what she wanted, and maybe she didn't get that. Because it still doesn't make any sense for you to feel like Mel was grooming and she should have never did that, and that's why they don't respect you. Ma'am, it was Martell's dick. It was Martell's dick. So why was it okay for Martell to tell Mel she needed to suck his dick, and then for Mel to do it? That was the problem, not him telling her. Something is wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with y'all. Destiny should have never been allowed to come back on the show. To be very clear, she wasn't given nothing from the beginning. It almost seemed like, I'm going to come back on the show with a vengeance, but not about my own life. I'm going to continue to make it about Mel. It's not about Mel being perfect. Mel doesn't have to be perfect in order for us to see Destiny lying on her. Mel doesn't have to be perfect for us to see Martell is trying to abuse Melody through the court system by trying to control their children. He doesn't want to let go because he wishes she never left him. He feels mad because he feels like he was supposed to be able to cheat on his wife and her stay the way he feels Maurice and Marceau have been allowed to do, the way Chris Fletcher has been allowed to do. It's really not that hard. We all got it. I'm trying to understand, how we're supposed to have this greater conversation that Carlos is mistreating the women on the cast. But when we talk about the specific instances, when it happens on Love and Marriage Huntsville and Mel is always on the fucked up side of things, everybody's like, y'all just see her like you just like her. So it ain't got nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that, y'all. Nothing. It really more so is about how things are playing out on the show, what we're seeing, what we're not seeing, who's being made to be a villain when they really haven't done anything to anybody. I liked Winter. Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember? A lot of y'all did not like Winter, and I liked her because I automatically was peeping how, well, she said this. Why are we overreacting to that? Because you can't all the time trick me. You could trick me sometimes, but bitch, most of the time you can't trick me with the editing shit. Because I pay attention to a lot of different things, context, body language, what you said, what she said, how did we even get here? What the fuck's going on? I've been telling y'all for years about this stuff. And sometimes y'all believe me, sometimes y'all see it too, and sometimes we disagree. That's fine. But this is not new news. This is not new news. But I would like to see a documentary where y'all tell me something I didn't know. Tell me something that'll really bring it home. Also, I feel like it needs to be from Mel. If you ask me, Mel has a production company. You got Nubian and all of that over there. Somebody needs to go to Mel, write and produce a rundown of her experience exclusively. Tell us how it happened. Tell us what happened here. Tell us what happened there. Okay? Give us the full blow by blow. Play some of the videos back. Tell us shit that we was missing that we didn't know. Break out that fucking red phone. But to me, if I was Mel, I would be in talks to create my own documentary about my experience with Kingdom Reign, with my experience on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I would talk about everything that I could not talk about when I was a part of the cast. Put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But yes, y'all, I'm sure we'll all be discussing this as time goes on. I wonder if Mel is going to actually file a lawsuit. We haven't heard anything from her. Destiny did backpedal and pussy pop